students to travel 8,000 kilometers in another hemisphere and visit some good places and then come back and tell us something. Now what happens is, before they go, we have to instruct them that when you go, you try to get as much knowledge as possible, because you can also go as a tourist, although she had gone to present a paper in an international conference. So Sujata Lavadkar, you should know it. She has completed 3 years as PhD scholar in our laboratory in this department. She is a national fellow, national ODC fellow. And she was supposed to present a paper which was accepted by the organizers, only one from India. And she had to travel to Norway. You know, Norway is a very important country for many reasons. If she were to travel to some other country, I would not have been very enthusiastic about asking her. Suppose she were to travel to England or say Korea or USA or France, I would not have been very enthusiastic about this particular session today for many reasons. What is the reason? What are the reasons? First of all, she has traveled to a country to which very few Goans go. Very few Indians also go. First of all, very few Goans are there, very few Indians are there, but large number of Indian students are there in this country called Norway. It is in a peninsula called Scandinavia. Scandinavian peninsula is world famous because it is just below the North Pole. It comes largely in polar circle and it has long days and what are known as aurora you can see at night. So it is a beautiful country. All these countries are also advanced countries, like we call them advanced Scandinavian countries. Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. These are all advanced countries with very good quality of life. So Norway, why Norway is important? Because the day she returned, United Nations Development Program published a report. They are publishing it for several decades now. That report is very important. It is like an audit. It tells you where your country stands in development and progress. Development is not just roads, bridges, hospitals, playgrounds, and other infrastructural facilities. Development means how healthy you are, how many children live when they are born, or they die within 6 months, 3 months. What is vaccination? What is disease prevalence? What is food availability? How much calories people get there? Educational level, higher educational level, everything, employment, all these indices are actually calculated for each and every country which are members of United Nations. So 200 countries are ranked on basis of human development indices. And in these 200 countries, the number one ranked country is Norway, which she had visited. That's why after visiting that number one country, Sujata Dabholkar is standing before a class where I see citizens of my country, which is ranked 138th. 138th. And why I have invited her to speak to her today? Because I am 60 years old. You are 20, 21 years old. She is around 24, 25 years old. I am only worried about one thing. That is, I want my country to replace Norway at first rank. That is my dream, that is my vision. That's why my student goes to Norway and wants to learn why Norway is ranked first. Why my country is ranked 138th. So that we fill the gap between 138th rank today at the down of the ladder, and we slowly take steps through education, through progress, through development, everything, through good plans, good schemes, people's participation and involvement, generation of new knowledge, ideas and technologies, democracy, all this, we slowly elevate ourselves in all human indices to reach and take the first place. And I am very sure that if not possible for her and your generation, it would be possible for your children and their children's generation to occupy first place in United Nations Human Development Index and never competes with us. So she visited a city. She was there in the city for 5 days, 4.5 days. And she went around. She interacted with people. She saw so many things. She studied also many papers about the city. And why I'm asking her to make a presentation, because we have a very important module called Urban Ecology Module. We are discussing it tomorrow and day after tomorrow in your theory class. Today is a practical class consistent with the international norms, where a case study has to be given to the students, which you have to discuss, deliberate, debate, and you have to analyze that case study. And if the case study is about some best practice, here the best practice is about urban planning, how to plan cities in an ecologically sustainable manner. Okay, so you feel good about the cities, those type of cities. You feel like, why my Panji, my Margao, my Kursoren, my Vasco, my Honda, my all those towns shouldn't be like this. The streets, the facilities, the gardens, everything. Citizens' amenities, why they shouldn't be like this? There are many differences between our country, which is ranked 130th, and Norway, which is ranked first. For example, you take area of Norway, which is 382,000 square kilometers, meaning it is 100 times little more than 100 times bigger than state of Goa and 10 times smaller than Republic of India, 11 times smaller. Its income is 6 times to 10 times more than India. Population is just 54 lakhs. What are other characteristics of Norway? Norway's 81% population is urban population, one of the highest index of urbanization. That means if you compare urban and so-called rural population in Norway, it is 81 to 19%. And in India, almost opposite. Here you have almost 46% people in cities or urban areas, 54% in the rural areas. Because we have 700,000 villages and we have 7,585 towns which are above 1 lakh population. Okay, so this is the situation in India, which is totally different than when we were independent. At that time, our urbanization was less. But slowly, urbanization rate in India is growing up this way. And the rural population is coming down this way. But in the process, what is happening? Haphazard urbanization everywhere. Vast mountains of waste, garbage, slums, problems of drainage, sanitation, sewage, diseases. So our cities are inland. That's why Government of India has launched Smart City Mission. Okay, so you will see, without launching any Smart City Mission in our presentation on Trondheim. Trondheim is a naval town. I mean, Norwegian Navy is anchored at Trondheim. And Norway, you know, it was occupied by Hitler's army for 4 years. They captured it during Second World War. They had suffered a lot. Norwegians have suffered a lot. And one name from Norway you should remember, you write down the name of that navigator, explorer. His name is Thor Heyerdahl, Thor Heyerdahl, Heyerdahl. Why Thor Heyerdahl is famous? That you read in Wikipedia and also see and read his books and also some of the videos. He was a navigator who crossed Pacific in a reed boat, simple boat without any modern navigational satellite dish at all. Then he took several such expeditions, crossing oceans. So he was an explorer, a navigator, very famous. And he has written number of books on his traveling and ocean expeditions. Very famous navigator. Amundsen, another one, who was a polar explorer. So Norway is spending a lot of money for education and scientific research and development, and she had interacted with lots of Norwegian scientists, and they appreciated her work. So please give her a big hand for her visit to Norway and performance. Okay. and then some fields will be shown to you, and I have given you the questions and I have listed some papers. Now I want to know from you, how will you get the papers if you want to read them from the list at the end? Yeah, and you will get the link, and if the link is not available, you have to directly click on it and download the paper. And read once, and just write 100 words, it need not be accurate, but you should read the paper. So that you will get an idea of the best practices in urban planning from Norway. What are the issues in waste management, pollution management, sewage management, the designing of building, then various types of minerals which are found in a particular city, and suppose you are building a house, you should know that all these types of minerals are there in your soil. Understood? So accordingly you will construct the house or you will build a garden. So immediately you come to know there is soil is sodium rich or potassium deficient or calcium rich, so on and so forth. Okay, so please proceed. You will have 30 minutes for presentation and then some little more time for films. We'll finish at 5:15 because then we'll have discussion.